Alright guys, here we are back on Wind Chaser, never mind, Clarkey Lewis Farms. I'm so used to playing on my map. Just doing some live streaming. Finished actually manually disc ripping the entire field number 3, which is about 48 hectares. Harvesting some corn. We have some great demand of corn coming up. Just kind of like moving the bales away from the field, so you can see that we have our hay bales fermenting. Bales in the back are a little bit more. In the back, I mean, we lose a lot of volume for this to ferment. I'm using the realistic like BGA or like silos and stuff like that. Some of upside down scripts. So that's why that's happening. So you have to chop a lot more silage than you otherwise would. So we're pretty much just gearing up to plant some soybeans, but I'd like to get some of these bales out of here for that. Great demand of corn coming up tomorrow, which is great because we could use some money. Just really want to get our cows consuming the silage once it ferments, so we can get more production. smells really funny. I don't even know what this bale is. Silage. It's really weird. See if it works. So yeah, this is a private map given to me and Jake by the maker, Ethan Clarkey. So I did a little bit of editing to it just to get it up to, you know, playable standards. But I like the layout. It's based on his personal farm in Indiana. So all the same fields, building location. So in that aspect, it's pretty cool. And since I finished my Wind Chaser map, I'm kind of over it. Looking to start something else. So hopefully that helps us with our little bit of production. So I also have the tire tracks in the game configuration set to duration of 3 or something like that, so they last 3 times as long. Uses a little bit more VRAM, but I have, you know, enough gigs of RAM to spare. 16 gigs of RAM. I'm not really hurting for RAM. How do you change the duration of the dirt tracks? It's either the game or game settings. When you go into your documents, farm sim, you know, that main folder that has all your like save game mods and stuff like that. It's in one of the XMLs. It will say like dirt track, and I'll be set at like 1 or 2, and I just changed it to 3, and it just tells you how long you want the tracks to be there for. There's a little tutorial on like Mod Hoster or something like that that you can download. It's just like a PDF of pictures to show you what I just said. But I think it's the same XML where you turn on developer tools. this map isn't, you know, that nothing, you know, there's no, basically it's just this area over here that's really finished, so it's just a regular standard size map, but still lots to do. But it's just nice to play on something a little bit smaller than Wind Chaser and use a little bit smaller equipment. Wind Chaser map. It has too many private map objects from friends, so releasing it's kind of out of the question. That's why I'm planning on making a new one based on area around where I'm from. Because, I mean, Wind Chaser's okay, but I mean, it's a fictitious place. It doesn't... God damn it. I always get distracted. Is there room to put? Just have some random equipment, sprayer, Ecolo tiller, 110 crumbler. Still making my field cultivator, so that should be like a week or two until I get to play with that. Fully decaled up, scripted in the wheel steering now, so the cylinders move, which is awesome. I have my cylinders hooked up, I have the main arms. Maybe we don't have any grass to mow yet, otherwise be using this thing. School is going okay. It's kind of hectic. Basically, they have us taking, I think it's 7 or 8 classes right now, plus we're seeing patients, but the issue is every dental school and med school in this country is built in an area based on demographics, and that certain demographics it's built around are low income, low education, basically non-affluent individuals, because they don't have money but they have time, and schools charge about 1/3 of what private practice charges. So there's a lot of no-show patients. For example, I had 4 patients this week, but only 2 of them showed up. So it's just kind of frustrating. Like, it's great to get an extra, some time to study for exams. For example, I had an oral surgery exam on Tuesday and an ortho exam this coming Thursday. I have 4 patients next week, and it's great to get some time to study, but at the same time, it's kind of, they call in. They're supposed to call in more than 24 hours to give notice so we can get someone else in, but they call, minutes before their scheduled appointment, and if they do that more than 3 times, actually they get kicked out, so they're no longer a patient of record. And it's unfortunate because these people, they're usually the ones that need the most, they're most debilitating. They need to actually come in and see us, yet they only come in when they're in pain, and then they come in when they're in pain, and then they don't want to, expecting a miracle to get out of such pain, and then they don't want to pay for such miracles. So it's just kind of, there's a lot of patients that are good, that they'll have all independent insurance, but it's the state assistance patients that there's like a no-show rate of like 70% for state assistance patients, which is, I'm not even, I wonder what that is. I'm not shocked at all, but what can you do? And then for the map that I'm making, it will probably be either named St. Croix County or Polk County, depending on which one I go with. And it's probably going to be between Richmond and Osceola. Tenth grade. What grade am I in? Well, if I had to put a grade on it, it would be 12, then it would be 16, then it would be, I would say, if you're going by the grade system, I would be in 19th grade at this point. Because you're in 12th grade in high school, then you have 4 years of college, which would put you in grade 16, and then you have 3 years of dental school under my belt, so that's 3 more. So I've been in school for some time. Now, normally you're not supposed to plow or plant on plowed terrain, but I'm not really going to bother with the field cultivator. So I'm really happy I built this 24 row. this was a field of corn, and now it's going to be a field of soybean. So this has individual wing flexing and individual row unit movements. So it's a pretty, it's like a wet noodle essentially. I adjusted the front refuge tank so it's a little bit smaller now. It looks a little bit better. I have that OEM real terrain, so it's really fun to watch my 2720 2720 disc gripper. With that script in. I should probably use courseplay with this just so it's a little bit easier. That way I can like adjust the camera. So with the seating, working with 18. First of all, change this to 3. Say south, east, west. Do 2 headlands. So now is the moment of truth to see how well this planter in its working areas handle all this flexing terrain. Pretty flat around here, but you can see the row units move up and down a little bit. Nice flex there. So I'm just using this to get the headlands, and then I'll have to go back to manually going back and forth. nice control on the front tongue here with the mouse control, so I could always, you know, elevate the bar if I need to. There we go, getting some nice row unit flex. Good seed bed. Has a pretty decent dental program, and anytime you're getting a series of dentures, whether partial or full, it's a very complex procedure to do. It's a lot of appointments, a lot of communication between you and the lab, but in private practice it's usually anywhere from 3 to 5 appointments, where in a dental school it's, you know, more like 10 to 12, so it's annoying, but it's a lot cheaper. You know, in private practice would be probably like 8,000, and dental school is probably like 2,000. So my favorite food. Yeah, 2,500, that sounds about right. I had a patient who came in who the other week I've been seeing, I believe it's his 4th appointment this next week. He came in and just for a routine initial screening, new patient of record, was diagnosed with generalized moderate to severe periodontal disease with generalized 3mm horizontal bone loss. So basically you go in and you're doing your periodontal exam, you're checking for probing depths, and average probing depth, you know, based on location is, you know, 2 to 3 millimeters, and all of a sudden you bury your probe up to 9 to 10 millimeters, and it's a vertical defect on the posterior distal aspect of these teeth. And you know, I don't know how people can actually like go about like their day knowing their teeth are in such terrible condition. You know, calculus build up. He's got about 4 or 5 class 5 restorations that need to be done. I don't know how he doesn't have extreme sensitivity, but what's interesting is when you actually study the genetics and the biochemistry and the biology and, you know, the disease process, he doesn't have a single cavity in his entire mouth, and he has no pit and fissure sealants, but he has probably like one of the most severe cases of periodontal disease you can have without straight up extracting every tooth. But interesting enough, he has no mobility. The mobility is within normal limits. So anyway, so we're doing scaling and root planing in all 4 quadrants, and then he has some restorative work that will need to be done, and I think he's going to be scheduled with a perio consult to have some bone grafting in 4 of his quadrants. So anyways, all said and done in private practice, you're looking at maybe like 12,000 in work, and I'll probably be around 3,000 at the school. So pretty crazy. So I don't, you know, we pretty much subsidize it all with our tuition. here we are on the far back part of this field. I went ahead and I sprayed some NPK on this field with our Patriot, and then I disc and ripped the corn stubble and the NPK into the soil. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bit of that blue fleck in the soil. So hopefully we get a really good yield in the soybeans out of this field. Yeah, yeah. I mean that, or like Percocet or warfarin. They put that to a Schedule A medication, so they try to limit how much we prescribe of that because it has a strong addictive component. But yeah, that shit knocks you out. Especially even like when I was doing my scaling and root plane, I gave maxillary posterior superior alveolar nerve, middle superior alveolar, anterior superior alveolar nerve, inferior alveolar nerve block, long buccal nerve block, mental nerve block, and lingual nerve block. And this guy, I swear to God, he probably wouldn't feel his mouth for the next 4 hours. Probably be chewing on his tongue thinking it's a sandwich. So, but yeah, anytime you're doing really invasive surgery like multiple extractions, that's tremendous trauma, and it gets more complicated when your patient's on, other medications like, uncontrolled diabetes, like type 2 diabetes, or high blood pressure, or they're on blood thinners like warfarin, Coumadin. So that complicates things. It prolongs the healing process, and it really dictates what kind of analgesics can be prescribed after. But from the clinician's point of view, it's really cool surgery. So I'm just glad people need the work, because it's kind of like our time to really flex our knowledge and practice. Awesome, our cows are up to 35%. See the row units do their thing right along here. You can even see the little airbag squish. I just love watching these row units just go up and down. They don't move very much because the terrain isn't that radical, but in some areas they move quite a bit. I use use the in-game European equipment until I get the time to make an American version. So like I was using the European in-game windrowers till I made my Oxbow merger. Oh yeah. Well, that row's not getting planted. Nice little flex going on. No, I'm not making a flat top Kenworth, stop asking. I don't like trucks. I don't understand everyone's obsession with trucks in this game. I have day cabs. That's all I'll ever use is a day cab. I love these ridge markers too. They don't do anything, but they're fun to play with. Just like stretching. So we're not even finished with one headland pass yet. People keep asking if I'm making a self-propelled merger. The answer is no. I made a pull type. It's the same damn thing. It's the same speed, same working capacity, but it's $300,000 cheaper. The amount of material that 334 Oxbow merger moves is more than you can handle. Like your chopper won't even keep up unless you have probably 5-6 trucks going. So the 24 row, it's half the size of the DB120, but it's the same seat capacity, and it's a lot easier to maneuver around some of these areas. So it definitely has its place in a lot of these fields, especially in these really hilly, tight turning situations. The DB120 distributes the flex pretty well. It has extra 4 sets of wings. Actually, it has 2 big long ones outside, and it has 2 smaller ones that don't really flex that much. But the difference is you can be running 2 24-row planters, get in tighter corners, and have double the seat capacity. So it almost makes more sense to run 2 24 rows than one big 48, but it's more expensive to buy 2 24s than 1 48, so it's the only difference. Plus, if you're going up and down hills, like if you look at some of these fields, some pretty aggressive slopes, you know, even with the 600 horsepower tractor, you'll struggle, depending on what kind of, you know, soil you're in, what kind of traction you get. You know, because that's not a light plant. That's a pretty heavy piece of machinery. It's like 17 tons or something like that. Plus you put the seat in it. It's a nice flex right there. So it'll be interesting harvesting this field with a draper. I did it with a 12-row corn header. Not a very big equipment, 9 meters. Draper is 12 meters, so a little bit more challenging with this terrain. So, I almost need to make a Case IH planter now. It probably will be a, if I ever pull the trigger on that project, it will probably be a non-drop bar. It'll probably be one of the smaller, like a 1770 NT equivalent. You know, something that doesn't have a DB frame. I just think the DB frame's a little bit ugly. It's definitely easier. It was definitely the easier one to build, but it isn't as attractive, I guess, as the 1770 or whatever equivalent model it is for Case. But it's just kind of weird having the one John Deere with all my Case equipment. Oh snap! John Deere, you're fired. Leaving a gap like that. Who does that? So, I've been contacting Horsch Anderson. And they just replied to me out of their South Dakota branch, the product manager, because I was asking questions about their Sprinter NT series, Air Seeder series, and their big commodity cart. They have old documents on their website of like some older models, but nothing like the new models they have. Well, that just shouldn't even happen. There's no way you're planting that. And I don't know, they haven't really contacted me back. It's unfortunate. I would love to just like sit on the back of this planter when someone's planting and just ride on it. I think that'd be fun. So put a little bit different lights on this. Put in pressure gauge, some different brake lights. So I I see that the new planters are like exact emerge. So I guess the ones that I built are a little outdated now. What can you do? Pass 1 complete. Back to my AB line. That was a 1 perimeter pass and over 25% of my seeds gone, so it's like a 47 or 48 hectare field, whatever that equates to in acres. 47 times 2.47 gives you a ballpark estimate. So the next thing I need to figure out is how the best way to plant this. I think I'm starting in the right spot. And then do some of these like areas and go over on that side, and then I don't know. Figure it out. Little mud hole down here. This is not a small planter. I mean, in this field it would probably be almost, you know, be giving this 340, you know, quite a bit of struggle. can't imagine using this in-game equipment. That would suck. I wonder if people actually even use the ridge markers anymore. I imagine everyone has GPS. It'd be great if you could do GPS like 3-4 headland passes and then. That probably wouldn't be the best for harvesting. So it's been like an hour, so I think I'll call it. So thanks for watching.